Well, hey, BJ with very basic Bible. Here we go. Get my microphone box. Get my microphone. There we go. Maybe now you can hear me better. Yeah. Okay. Oop. Turn my phone on silent because every time it goes off, I'm like super embarrassed. Although it's quite funny. Hey guys, we're going to read through the book of Ruth. We're down to the genealogy at the very end. Yeah. And we've already talked about it a few times. Now that we've gotten through what I would think is the main body, and now we've just got the genealogy at the end, which we will go through. I don't know how many sessions, episodes, videos, how many studies will it take? We'll just see. I figured today we would just read through Ruth. Read through without stopping. Okay. Even the genealogy, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 verses. How many are there? Between 4 and 6. I don't know. There's a lot. Then maybe we'll go back and read it, giving some commentary, reminding you of some stuff. Then maybe we'll go back and read it again nonstop. We'll just see like what's it like to hear it nonstop, you know? Share screen. Okay. All right, I gotta find out. Usually I open all this stuff up beforehand, the Bible. It's actually, where, okay, right here. thebible.org/GT/index. If you're like BJ, I can't remember all that stuff. Go to, let's see. I'm gonna Google. Okay. I'll just Google. Okay, I'm gonna type in online para with one R, two R, one R, parallel, right there, even though I still misspelled it. Online Parallel Bible, Bible Study Tools, Bible CC, Parallel Bible. You'd think, oh, that's the one I go to. Thebible.org. Right there. The Bible.org/GT/index. Right there. Look. Boop. Same website. See, it doesn't even change when I click it. Okay, I'm gonna right there. Right there. Right there. I don't use Google. What do you use? I don't know. What if we look up in yahoo.com search? Does anybody use that? I don't know. How do you spell parallel? Parallel by online. Let's see. Search and shopping search eBay. What? Okay, we'll go down. Bible CC, Parallel Bible, Study Info, BibleSources.org. Compare Bibles from a selection of 18. Bible Study Tools. Huh. What you want is there's Apocrypha, Support, Bible Gateway, Search and Shop. Okay, I need to go to the next. Maybe it's more difficult. What if I typed in, okay, thebible.org, GT index. This is stupid, but look, thebible.org, GT. That's it. Wait, that's usually there. Look over here. You got the arrows, Yep, there it is. That's it. What other search engines do people use? DuckDuckGo. I've never used that. A search engine, a search for a search engine. searched at Google. Gave me. That's just because Google is a default on my computer. All right. Search the web without being tracked. Ooh, yep. Everybody's scared today. Conspiracy theory. Okay. Now, BJ, you know that stuff is true. Okay, okay, okay. Searching without being tracked now. Now you're not being tracked, except that you're watching your computer, which is tracking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how far. How deep does it go? Here we go. Online parallel Bible. Let's see. eBay Christian book. That's not online. Oh, ad. CAD. Yeah, yeah. All right. Online parallel Bible study tools. Bible CC. Parallel Bible. Those are the same. I'm pretty certain. Study.info, Bible.org resources, support Bible Gateway, this kind of Bible Hub also is the same as these two. Bible Hub, Bible CC, Parallel Bible, I believe they're the same, but you might have seen it. See, it's got pictures right there, right there. The Bible.org GT index. See the little picture up there at the top? See the little picture right there? Okay. I mean, I don't know. What other search engine do people Bing? You know, Bing. Okay, so it's going to search Google to get me to Bing. Because what if I type in Bible GT index? What happens? The Bible.org/GT/index right there. Parallel plus by the Bible.org. Pretty cool, huh? All right, guys. I don't know what GT/index means. Okay, but we're going to go to Bible Gateway actually because we're just going to read through the book of Ruth and I'll show you why. All right. Almost all your Bibles are going to have chapter and verse numbers. I'd love to just read straight through, unless you're reading a paper copy, but here, chapter and verse numbers. So, NASB. I'm going to go to the one I don't tend to use one the most, but Christian Standard Bible. Let's go look at that one. Ruth/GT/index. No, I'm just kidding. Ruth 1. All right. Bible Gateway. Right here, red letter, footnote, verse numbers you could take out. It'd be pretty cool, huh? I took out the cross references. Okay. Headings. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll take that. We'll try it. No verse numbers, no headings. We'll see what happens. And now I think, what's this? Share, print. That's print. That's add. But if I hold the control button on my keyboard and I hit plus, makes my screen bigger. No, let's say I hold the control button and I hit minus, makes my screen smaller. Over here, read the Bible study, tools, explore, store, all that stuff. I want it to go away. Control plus, like that. If I really want it, I can hit F11 on the top. There's F1, F2, all the way to F11. Takes away the top. I've got a good amount just to read. All right. That's what we're going to do. Here we go. Let's read this. Here we go. Let's read this, yo. But first, I'm going to take a little break and go get me some water. Be right back. Hey, I am back. Here we go. Got me some water. Kind of matches my shirt. Kind of blue and blue, maybe. I don't know. All right, I'm really dark down here. But you're not here to see me. You're here to see the screen. Here we go. Now, even though I took out the cross references, but look, for some reason, in the footnotes, I guess that's not the worst thing. Let's see. Footnote. There we go. Now, look at that. All right. Here we go. I'm not going to scroll with my mouse. I'm just going to read it. Here we go. During the time of the judges, there was a famine in the land. A man left Bethlehem in Judah with his wife and 2 sons to stay in the territory of Moab for a while. The man's name was Elimelech, and his wife's name was Naomi. The names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They entered the fields of Moab and settled there. Naomi's husband Elimelech died, and she was left with their 2 sons. Her sons took Moabite women as their wives. One was named Orpah, and the second was named Ruth. After they lived in Moab about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and the woman, Naomi, was left without her 2 children and without her husband. She and her daughters-in-law set out to return from the territory of Moab because she had heard in Moab that the Lord had paid attention to the people's need by providing them food. She left the place where she had been living, accompanied by her 2 daughters-in-law, and traveled along the road leading back to the land of Judah. Naomi said to them, "Each of you go back to your grandmother's home. May the Lord show kindness to you as you have shown to the dead and to me. May the Lord grant each of you rest in the house of a new husband." She kissed them, and they wept loudly. They said to her, "We insist on returning with you to your people." But Naomi replied, What's Naomi going to say? There you go. "Return home, my daughters. Why do you want to go with me? Am I able to have any more sons who could become your husbands? Return home, my daughters. Go on, for I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me to have a husband tonight and to bear sons, would you be willing to wait for them to grow up? Would you restrain yourselves from remarrying? No, my daughters. My life is much too bitter for you to share because the Lord's hand has turned against me." Again, they wept loudly, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Follow your sister-in-law." But Ruth replied, "Yes, mother, I will do. Don't plead with me to abandon you or return and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you live, I will live. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord punish me and do so severely if anything but death separates you and me." Pretty cool, huh? When Naomi saw that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped talking to her. The 2 of them traveled until they came to Bethlehem. When they entered Bethlehem, the whole town was excited about their arrival, and the local women exclaimed, "Can this be Naomi?" "Don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara," she answered, "for the Almighty has made me very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since the Lord has opposed me and the Almighty has afflicted me?" So Naomi came back from the territory of Moab with her daughter-in-law, Ruth the Moabitess. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Chapter 2. Now Naomi had, one second, guys. Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side. He was a prominent man of noble character from Elimelech's family. His name was Boaz. Ruth the Moabitess asked Naomi, "Will you let me go into the fields and gather fallen grain behind some with whom I find favor?" Naomi answered her, "Go ahead, my daughter." So Ruth left and entered the field to gather grain behind the harvesters. She happened to be in the portion of the field belonging to Boaz, who was from Elimelech's family. Later, when Boaz arrived from Bethlehem, he said to the harvesters, "The Lord be with you." "The Lord bless you," they replied. If you're Methodist or Episcopalian or something, you want to say, "The Lord be with you," and also with you. All right. Boaz asked his servant who was in charge of the harvesters, "Whose young woman is this?" The servant answered, "She is the young Moabite woman who returned with Naomi from the territory of Moab." She asked, "Will you let me go gather fallen grain among the bundles behind the harvesters?" She came and has been on her feet since early morning, except that she rested a little in the shelter. Then Boaz said to Ruth, listen, my daughter, don't go and gather grain in another field. Don't leave this one, but stay here close to my female servants. See which field they are harvesting and follow them. Haven't I ordered the young men not to touch you? When you are thirsty, go and drink from the jars the young men have filled. She fell face down, bowed to the ground, and said to him, why have I found favor with you, so that you notice me, although I am a foreigner? Boaz answered her, everything you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband's death has been fully reported to me, how you left your father and mother and your native land, and how you came to a people you didn't previously know. May the Lord reward you for what you have done, and may you receive a full reward from the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge. My Lord, she said, I have found favor with you, and you have comforted and encouraged your servant, although I am not like one of your female servants. At mealtime, Boaz told her, come over here and have some bread and dip it in the vinegar sauce. So she sat beside the harvesters, and he offered her roasted grain. She ate and was satisfied and had some left over. Whew, I'm suddenly starting to yawn. I don't know. When she got up to gather grain, Boaz ordered his young men, let her even gather grain among the bundles. Do not humiliate her. Pull out some stalks from the bundles for her and leave them for her to gather. Don't rebuke her. So Ruth gathered grain in the field until evening. She beat out what she had gathered, and it was about 26 quarts of barley. She picked up the grain and went into the town, where her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. She brought out what she had left over from her meal and gave it to her. Her mother-in-law said to her, where did you gather barley today, and where did you work? May the Lord bless the man who noticed you. Ruth told her mother-in-law whom she had worked with and said, the name of the man I worked with today is Boaz. But this is the book of Ruth, not the book of Boaz. Uh, then, and not the book of Naomi. It's Ruth. I don't know. Okay. Then Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, may the Lord bless him because he has not abandoned his kindness to the living or the dead. Naomi continued, this man is a close relative. He's one of our family redeemers. Ruth the Moabitess said, he also told me, stay with my young men until I've finished all of my harvest. So Naomi said to her daughter-in-law Ruth, my daughter, it is good for you to work with his female servants, so that nothing will happen to you in another field. Ruth stayed close to Boaz's female servants and gathered grain until the barley and wheat harvest were finished. She lived with her mother-in-law. Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her daughter, Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, my daughter, shouldn't I find rest for you so that you will be taken care of? Now, isn't Boaz our relative? Haven't you been working with his female servants? This evening he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfumed oil, and wear your best clothes. Go down to the threshing floor, but don't let the man know you were there until he's finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, notice the place where he's lying. Go in and uncover his feet and lie down. Then he will explain to you what you should do. So Ruth said to her, I will do everything you say. She went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law had charged her to do. After Boaz ate, drank, and was in good spirits, he went to lie down at the end of the pile of barley, and she came secretly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. At midnight, Boaz was startled, turned over, what? And lying there at his feet was a woman. I'm sorry. I sound like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Okay. He's startled, so he asked, who are you? I'm Ruth, your servant, she replied. Take me under your wing, for you are a family redeemer. Then he said, may the Lord bless you, my daughter. You have shown more kindness now than before, because you have not pursued younger men, whether rich or poor. Now don't be afraid, my daughter. I will do for you whatever you say, since all the people in my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Yes, it is true that I am a family redeemer, but there is a redeemer closer than I. Stay here tonight, and in the morning, if he wants to redeem you, that's good. Let him redeem you. But if he doesn't want to redeem you, as the Lord lives, I will. Now lie down until morning. So she lay down at his feet until morning, but got up while it was still dark. Then Boaz said, "Don't let it be known that a woman came to the threshing floor." And he told Ruth, "Bring your shawl you're wearing and hold it out." When she held it out, he shoveled 6 measures of barley into her shawl, and she went into town. And she went to her mother-in-law, Naomi, who asked her, "What happened, my daughter?" Then Ruth told her everything the man had done for her. She said, "He gave me just 6 measures of barley because he said, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Naomi said, "My daughter, wait until you find out how things go, for he won't rest until he resolves this today." It's exactly how she said it, today. Dramatic. All right, here we go. Chapter 4, last one. Boaz went to the gate of the town and sat down there. Soon the family redeemer Boaz had spoken about came by. Boaz said, "Come over here and sit down." So he went over and sat down. Then Boaz picked 10 men of the town's elders and said, "Sit here." And they sat down. He said to the Redeemer, "Naomi, who has returned from the territory of Moab, is selling the portion of land that belonged to our brother Elimelech. I thought I should inform you. Buy it back in the presence of those seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you want to redeem it, do it. But if you don't want to redeem it, tell me so I will know, because there isn't anyone other than you to redeem it, and I am next after you." "I will redeem it," he answered. I was trying to talk in another voice. That was, "I will redeem it," he answered. Okay. I mean, people sound that way. All right. Then Boaz said, "On the day you buy the field from Naomi, you will acquire Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the deceased man, to perpetuate the man's name on his property." The Redeemer replied, "I can't redeem it myself, or I will ruin my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption because I can't redeem it." At an earlier period in Israel, a man removed his sandal and gave it to the other party in order to make any matter legally binding concerning the right of redemption or the exchange of property. This was a method of legally binding a transaction in Israel. So the Redeemer removed his sandal and said to Boaz, "Buy back the property yourself." I'm sorry, guys. Buy back the property yourself. Okay. Okay, we're done with that man's voice. Boaz said to the elders and all the people, "You are witnesses today that I am buying from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. I have also required Ruth the Moabitess, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, to perpetuate the dead man's name on his property, so that his name will not disappear among his relatives or from the gate of his hometown. You are witnesses today." All the people were at the city gate, including the elders, cheered, or did they? I don't know, said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is entering your house like Rachel and Leah, who together built the house of Israel. May you be powerful in Ephrathah, and your name will be well known in Bethlehem. May your house become like the house of Perez, the son of Tamar, bore to Judah, because of the offspring the Lord will give you by this young woman." Ruth took Boaz, and she became his wife. He slept with her, and the Lord granted conception to her, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not left you without a family redeemer today. May his name become well known in Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. Indeed, your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth to him." Naomi took the child, placed him in her lap, and became a mother to him. The neighbor women said, "A son has been born to Naomi." And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Now these are the family records of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Aminadab. Aminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz. Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. And Jesse fathered David. There you go. Wasn't so bad, was it? My constant yawns and you are my witnesses. All right. So bad, huh? Now I kind of want to go back and read it again, the whole thing, and like make little comments here and there. I want to do that like 5 or 6 times because each time I'll have different comments. I'll notice different things. The way you got to do it though, study a book of the Bible and get it way down and remember it. Make notes and stuff. Then go do something else for a while. I don't mean read it, study it, make notes for like 4 or 5 hours. I mean, intensely looking up everything you can. Just do it for like 6 hours in a row. Then for 30 minutes, leave and then come. No, 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 no. I mean, like, like for a few weeks, maybe a month. Read Ruth every day. Read different parts of it every day, or maybe 2 or 3 times a week or something. Study it. Find some sermons online over Ruth or over the chapters of Ruth, over some of the ideas. Maybe like great women or great men of the Bible. Maybe like the nation of Moab, the barley harvest. Different things. Look up stuff like that. Listen to sermons. Kind of get Ruth to where you're like, hey, I've got this down. I really feel like I could probably do a Bible study. I mean, I'm not an expert. I didn't go get a doctorate degree, in it. Not a university professor, but I don't know. Maybe my face is bigger now. There we go. But you know it pretty well. Okay. Then go do other stuff for a month, and another stuff for another month. Just focus on one thing that month, right? Now, after a while, let's say a year, come back to Ruth or whatever book you do this with. Ruth is easy because it's nice and short, 4 chapters. I'll just say Ruth. Okay. Come back to Ruth. Don't look at your notes. Don't prepare yourself ahead of time by listening to the sermons you listen to. Don't sit here and think, okay, what was Ruth? No, fresh eyes. Fresh eyes. Okay. Have you ever watched a movie that you haven't watched for years? This happens when we're adults. Adults will watch a movie that was like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite movie as a kid. When they watch as an adult, they're like, well, this is stupid. That's happened to me so many times, The nostalgia factor, maybe, but it's like, why in the world did I ever like this? I wasn't even the same. Who's that person that liked this back? That wasn't me. Watch it with a fresh perspective, right? The movie, I mean. So here's what you do: you read Ruth with a fresh perspective, with fresh eye, a new eye, not a new. You don't get you just read it as you start reading it. Don't look at your notes. Don't listen to sermon. Just start reading it. Things will start to come back to you. They'll just kind of well up within you. B, you'll notice other things. You'll notice different things. They might even conflict with the original things that start to well up in you. Uh-oh. Because you saw something then and you see something different now. Which one's correct? C, during the meantime, you will have studied other books of the Bible. So then whenever you go look at Ruth, you're not contained to just Ruth and Ruth alone. Other books of the Bible will bring in information to Ruth. Okay. So you read it through and then start studying it, make some notes and such. Slowly start looking back and comparing your old notes. A few, a day here, a day there. You schedule, say, an hour Monday, Fridays, and Saturdays for Bible study. So, or something. Do you schedule? I don't schedule. I don't know. However you do your Bible study, just study a little bit here, a lot there, whatever, Look up your notes, find old sermons, maybe find new sermons, and be like, wait a minute, I thought this. Oh, wait, I thought that. Compare what you're knowing now to what you knew then. Tacos are made of meat only. Hamburgers, what do they have in them? Only a patty, nothing else. No. You put the meat at the bottom of the taco. We usually do in America. I don't know about other places. You get a hamburger or a sandwich. You normally put the meat on first. You come back later, you put later. Then you put the vegetables on top, right? Okay. So you got the meat, then you got the vegetables. You studied Ruth. You waited a while. Okay, you don't put on the meat and then wait a while and then put on the okay. But let's pretend that 3 seconds is 3 months. You study Ruth, 3 months go by, study it again. There's the vegetables. The vegetables and the meat will intermingle, right? You got a taco, it all kind of gets together, but you don't have a complete taco until you put on everything. You will have Ruth down the first time you study. But when you do it again a little later, you're like, oh, you're starting to see new stuff. You'll even notice this happening as you're studying a book. You'll be studying chapter 1. Then when you get to chapter 2 and then you refer back to chapter 1, you'll go, wait a minute, I missed this in chapter 1. I went back at least once to chapter 3 because I was like, wait a minute, I missed something. I went back several times. I went from chapter 1 to chapter 4 because I already knew it was in chapter 4. Chapter 4 helped me know it was in chapter 1. I mean, I was recording these Bible study videos, took a few months break for some reason. I'm not sure why. I was like, I need to pick that up again. Picked it up again, F11. Oh, picked it up again, and I started seeing fresh things. I started seeing new things, but most of the stuff that I had learned did come back and did stick. The meat, and then you put in the vegetables, they all mix together, still got meat and vegetables. I mean, yeah. Okay, guys, let's look at, I'm going to go back. I'm going to read. It's going to be really fast. Okay. Okay, right here. During the time of the judges, there was a famine in the land. Okay, then you look down here. She heard in Moab. Okay, there's a famine in the land. A man left Bethlehem in Judah. So where was the land? Bethlehem in Judah. The land of Moab. The Lord had paid attention to whose people's needs? Judah. Man, that's like the giantest chunk. Look, like from down a whoop, man. I need a. All right. During the time of the judges, there was a famine in the land. A man left Bethlehem in Judah with his wife and 2 sons to stay in the territory of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech. What did Boaz say in chapter 4? One second, guys. I have an idea. All right. Ruth 3. Ruth 4. All right. Chapter 1 all the way back here. Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Okay. A man left Bethlehem in Judah with his wife and 2 sons to stay in territory for a while. The man's name was Elimelech. The name of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites from Bethlehem of Judah. Look at chapter 4. Where is it at? You are witnesses today that I am buying from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. Chapter 1. The man's name was Elimelech. His last name, his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Everything that Elimelech goes to Mahlon and Chilion. Right? The firstborn son gets everything. Let's see. Birth right. Esau sells his birthright. Jacob replied, first, sell me your birthright. Look, said Esau, I'm a 32. I'm about to die, so what good is a birthright to me? 33. Jacob said, swear to me first. So he swore to Jacob and sold his birthright to him. 34. Then Jacob gave bread and lentil stew to Esau. He ate, drank, got up, and went away. So Esau despised his birthright. Esau was the firstborn. He had the birthright, the right to everything from his father. Right? Full chapter. All right. So, okay. Jacob came. Was it? Okay. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak he could not see, he called his older son Esau and said to him, my son. Esau said, here am I. He said, look, I am old and do not know the day of my death. I'm going to die soon. So now take your hunting gear, your quiver and bow, and go out in the field and hunt some game for me. Then make me a delicious meal that I love and bring it to me to eat so I can bless you before I die. Why? He's the firstborn. He gets special blessing. Rebecca was listening to what Isaac said to his son Esau. Esau went to the field to hunt some game to bring in. Rebecca said to her son Jacob, Rebecca's going to do some trickery. Listen, I heard your father talking to you with your brother Esau. He said, bring me game and make a delicious meal for me to eat so that I can bless you in the Lord's presence before I die. Now, my son, listen to me and do what I tell you. Go to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats. I will make them into a delicious meal for your father, the kind he loves. And take the father and bless him before he dies. Then take it to your father to eat so that he may bless you before he dies. He's trying to get the blessing. Let's see. He came to his father. He said, my father. The father answered, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob replied to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you've told me. Please sit up and eat some of the game. You have blessed me. You have so that you may bless me. He wants a blessing, the firstborn blessing, right? Go look real quick. Genesis. I'm going to type in Ephraim Manasseh. Is that how you spell it? Manasseh. There, look. Ephraim Manasseh. All right. 48, 48. I think this is it. Yes. Full chapter. After his time, Joseph was told, your father is weaker. So he set out. So Joseph set out with his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Jacob was told, your son Joseph was coming to you, Israel and Jacob, same person. Jacob was told, Jacob summoned his strength and sat up in bed. Okay, so when Israel was told, your son Joseph, Israel summoned his strength. Why do they say, I don't know. Okay, Jacob, now they switch back to Jacob. Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me in Luz in the land of Canaan to bless me. Okay. Here we go. When Israel, Jacob, saw Joseph's 2 sons, he said, who are these? Joseph said to his father, they are my sons God has given me here. So Israel said, bring them to me and I will bless them. Oh, he's going to give a blessing. And we know the firstborn is going to get the blessing. Now, Israel's eyesight was poor because of old age. He could hardly see. Joseph brought them to him, and he kissed and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face again. Joseph had been sold into slavery and sent to Egypt, and Jacob, Israel, thought that Joseph was dead. Then suddenly, many, many years later, whoa, there's Joseph. And Jacob, I never expected to see your face again. But now God has even let me see your offspring. Then Joseph took them from his father's knees and bowed with his face to the ground, took the kids off him and then bowed again. Then Joseph took them both with his right hand, Ephraim toward Israel's left, with his left hand, Manasseh toward Israel's right. Brought them to Israel. But, so he's got Israel on one side, Joseph has Manasseh on one side, Ephraim on the other. Israel's going to put his hands out, one on Manasseh, one on Ephraim. He's going to bless them, right? Okay. Firstborn blessing. But Israel stretched out his right hand and put it on the head of Ephraim. Now wait. With his right hand, Ephraim toward Israel's left. But Israel stretched out his right hand and put it on Ephraim. Ephraim the younger, right hand on the head of Ephraim, the younger, right hand. One second, guys. I am the Lord your God who holds your right hand, who says to you, do not fear it. I will help you. I hold your right hand. Oh, hey, look at this. 48:13. Then Joseph took them both with his right hand to even all that confusing stuff. Okay. All right, here. Lord, your right hand is glorious in power. Lord, your right hand has shattered the enemy. 15:6. 15 Exodus 15:6. Exodus 15:12. You stretched out your right hand and the earth swallowed them. Exodus 29:20. Slaughter a ram. So now we're in a different part. We're talking about sacrifices now. Slaughter the ram, take some of his blood, and put it on Aaron's right earlobe, his son's right earlobes, the thumbs of their right hand, the big toes of their right feet. Why are you putting blood from a sacrifice on somebody's earlobe and thumbs and toes? Ugh. I don't know. I don't want blood on my thumb and toes on my ear. Like that blood came out of that animal, and you're gonna smear it on my ear. But the main point is right earlobe, right hand, right feet. Oh, there it is again. Leviticus 8:23, right earlobes of 8:24. Okay. Oh, right foot, right. Everything's right. Right. He said, Deuteronomy 33:2. Deuteronomy 33:2. The Lord came from Sinai and appeared to them from Seir. He shone on them from Mount Paran and came with 10,000 holy ones with lightning from his right hand for them. Okay. Look at this one. Ehud reached with his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh and plunged into Eglon's belly. That's funny because full chapter 321. Control F, left. There's a left. These are the nations the Lord left in order to test all those in Israel. Okay, so that's not like left-handed, you know. All right, so 1 second, guys. Hide video panel. Okay. What? No, not video panel. Okay. Show video panel. There are controls that you don't see. I'm clicking on them. Hide, floating, control. There we go. Okay, now they're gone. The bottom of the screen controls are gone. You couldn't see them in the first place, but I could, and it blocked my screen. Maybe y'all were like, good, finally get his ugly face out of here. Okay, here we go. Okay, Israel did. The Lord raised up Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, as a deliverer to the Israelites. Good. He delivered him. Oh, wait, left. All right. Matches 1 of 5. Then the Israelites cried out to the Lord, and he raised up Ehud, son of Gerar, a left-handed Benjaminite, as a deliverer for them. The Israelites sent him with tribute for King Eglon of Moab. Their deliverer, a left-handed guy, they're sending to King Eglon to give him tribute. Tribute is money. Okay, either A, he's not a deliverer yet, and they don't know that. But when he does deliver them, or B, they're like, hey, you're our deliverer. We're going to send you, and you're going to take this tribute, but you're going to, his left hand. All right? All his hands left him. Ehud reached with his left hand, took the sword, and plunged it into Eglon's belly. Yeah, Eglon of Moab. Okay. Ehud, a left-handed man. I am not left-handed. Oh no. I totally messed that up. So you can see Eglon did something good with his left hand. Ehud. But God is going to hold your right hand. Okay. Moses slaughtered the right earlobe. Lord, your right hand is glorious in power. Lord, your right hand shattered your enemy. Right? Okay. Let's look around. Okay, let's just go. Doo, doo, doo. Joab asked Amasa, "Are you well, my brother?" Then with his right hand, Joab grabbed Amasa by the beard and kissed him. Okay. His right hand, his good hand. Grabbed him by it doesn't rah, it grabbed him by the beard. That's weird. That was a term of endearment, I guess, and kissed him probably on the cheek. All right. Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him about Adonijah. Bathsheba is the queen. Bathsheba is Solomon's mother. I was getting mixed up. I'm sorry. Bathsheba and David are married, right? They had a son. His name was Solomon. Now Solomon's the king. So Bathsheba, the queen mother, went to King Solomon to speak to him about it. The king stood up to greet her, bowed to her, sat down in his throne, and had a throne placed for the king's mother. She sat down at his right hand. There we go. The heavenly army was standing by at his right hand and at his left. Okay. I mean, you understand, then the captain, the king's right hand man. We've heard that before, right? The king had appointed the captain, his right hand man. Okay. Right. Who stood at his right hand? Yeah, I guess so. Right. The archers who could use either right or left hand. So those guys were awesome. Ehud was like left-handed. These guys can use the right or left hand. Trying to lay their hands on, offering right in his presence. Righteous person. Then I will confess to you that your own right hand can deliver you, not your left hand. I will let the Lord guide me because he is at my right hand. I will not be shaken. Your right hand. I mean, your right hand is you, God. Psalm 16:11. You reveal the path of life to me. In your presence is abundant joy. At your right hand are eternal pleasures. Display Psalm 17:7. Display the wonders of your faithful love, Savior of all who seek refuge from those who rebel against your right hand. Savior of all who seek refuge from, you're seeking refuge from someone. Who is it? People who rebel. People who are rebelling from God's right hand. God's right hand is powerful. The right hand is the thing. People rebel from that. God protects them from those rebels. Okay, guys. Your right hand upholds me, and your humility exalts me. Pretty cool, huh? So his power and his humility holds us up. Now, let's type in left hand. So besides Ehud, let's see. All right. Grabbed a man's hand, his wife's hand, the hands of two daughters. They brought and left him outside. Okay, he left all that he owned. Okay, it's not a hand. Handsome. Israel's left, and with his left hand, Manasseh towards Israel's right. Okay, so right hand, Genesis 48, Genesis 48. When I have left the city, okay, Moses left Pharaoh, everything that the hell left behind. No survivor left. I want just hand. Left, maybe left side. Left these nations. Left hand of Benjaminite. Ehud, okay. Ehud reached the left hand. Okay. They held torches in their left hands, and their right hands blew, and their ram horns in their right hand. So the torches in their left, the other thing in their right hand. So they got two hands. One on his right and the other on his left. 700 fit men, left-handed. Oh, so there are some left-handed men. His right hand and at his left hand. Okay. Naaman got angry and left. When he left there, he found Jonah. That's not the right side of the temple to the left side of the temple. So not on just the left side, but from the right to the left. Okay. Archers who could use both the right or left hand. So far, just Ehud. All right. Then he stationed all the troops with their weapons in the hand surrounding the king from the right side of the temple to the left side. What is left in his tent? Satan left. So, I mean, there's look at that. We're already done because it's Revelation 10. Revelation is the very last book of the Bible. I mean, okay. Then I will knock your bow from your left hand and make you drop your arrows from your right hand. Okay. People hold their bow with their left hand. They aim with their right. They aim with their right. Okay. I mean, I don't know. May his left hand be under my head and his right arm embrace me. Song of Songs. Okay, here it is again. Song of Songs. May his left hand be under my head, his right hand. So his left hand is right hand. You're caressing him. You're holding him. He's like, hey, I want him to kiss me. Song of Songs is a love song. What strength to me was their hands? Okay, something long as their long life is in her right hand and her left riches and honor. Okay, so she's got stuff in both hands. As you can see, Acts, I'm going to look real quick. Left, no. All right. The right hand is the important one. When it's left-handed, there's something special going on, right? Like, oh, Ehud, nobody's expecting him to deliver us. He's left-handed, but then he does. It doesn't really say that, but that's what would be implied. That's what we should understand. Like the people who are reading the Bible, they would get that right away because they lived in the Bible times. We don't. So we go through and search right and left hand, and we discover, okay, it seems like the right is important. The right hand is power. He holds us in his right hand. Sometimes the left has stuff, almost always the right. Wait, you're telling me that out of everybody, the whole army, only 700 were left-handed? Wait. They had archers who could stone throwers who could do stuff with their right and their left hand. And you would assume not just their right hand, right? I mean, the right hand, that's the important one. So here, let's see what happens. Joseph took them both, his right hand, Ephraim, towards Israel's left hand. So Ephraim towards Israel's left hand. And with his left hand, Manasseh towards Israel's right. Ephraim is Israel's left, Manasseh towards Israel's right. Okay. He brought them to Israel. Israel stretched out his right hand and put it on the head of Ephraim, the younger. Took the strong arm and put it on Ephraim, the younger, even though Ephraim was towards his left. All right. The younger, and crossing his eyes, put his left hand on Manasseh's head, although Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, the God of my fathers, whom Isaac and Abraham walked, he gave him this blessing. Now we'll go down here. Look at this. When Joseph saw his father had placed his right hand on Ephraim's head, he thought it was a mistake and took his father's hand and moved it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's. Joseph said to his father, not that way, my father. This one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He knows. His eyesight is weak, but he knows. Must have some special insight. I'm going to assume it's from God. He too will become a tribe, and he too will be great. Nevertheless, his younger brother will be greater than he, and his offspring will become a populous nation. So he blessed them that day, putting Ephraim before Manasseh when he said, the nation of Israel will bless me by you, saying, may the God be like Ephraim and Manasseh. Okay. One more. Let's look up the New Testament. Luke 15. A man had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, now this is a long time later, but traditions take a long time to change. In ancient times, traditions would be similar. Let's see if this is similar. Okay. A man had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of my estate that I have coming to me. So he distributed the assets to them. He wants the birthright now, but he's a younger son. The younger son said to him. So the father did. The father gave stuff to the younger son and to the older son. Okay. A man had two sons. So we can kind of see it playing out here. Okay. Not many days later, the younger son gathered together all he had, traveled to a distant country where he squandered his estate in foolish living. All right. The father, okay. So the son got up, went to his father. While the son was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. The father told his servants, quick, bring out the best robe and put it on him. So he's giving his son stuff. He already gave him his inheritance, and now he's giving him more. Put a ring on his finger, sandals on his feet, bring the fattened calf. Who do you think is supposed to get this fattened calf? The fattened calf, not just the calf, the fattened calf. Not the younger son, the older son, I would assume. He's giving it to the younger son. Now, the older son was in the field. He became angry and didn't want to go in. His father came out and pleaded with him. But the older son replied to his father, look, I have been slaving many years for you, and I've never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me a goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your assets with prostitutes, you slaughtered the fattened calf for him. Son, said the father, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. Why? You're the older son. But we had to celebrate and rejoice because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He's lost and is found. Look, son, you've been with me. Everything I have is yours. We got to we're breaking the rules a little bit to celebrate for this younger son. That's God's love for us. So you can see, firstborn kind of playing out there, right? Now, why did I go look at all that in the first place? His two sons were Malin and Chilion. They entered the fields of Moab, and Elimelech died. His two sons took wives. Orpah, Ruth lived in Moab 10 years. Malin and Chilion also died. Why did I go and look at that in the first place? I don't recall. I don't recall why in the first place. Okay, I'm going to start reading and see. During the time of the judges, there was a famine in the land. A man left Bethlehem in Judah with his wife and two sons to stay in the territory of Moab for a while. The man's name was Elimelech, and his father's name was Naomi. The names of his two sons were Malin and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem and Judah. They entered the fields of Moab and settled there. Naomi's husband Elimelech died. She was left with her two sons. Her sons took both Malin and Chilion also died. Oops, I quit that. Okay, chapter 4. Where is it at? Oh, that's right. You are witnesses today that I am buying from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Chilion, and Malin. It doesn't tell us who the older born son was, who's going to get the inheritance, who gets the birthright. I assume the father would give most of his stuff to the older son and some of it to the second born son. They're not allowed to just, to my knowledge, just like everything you have firstborn son and just squander the rest of it. God tells them, when a slave leaves you, furnish him liberally. God tells them, when you have a wife, if you take a second wife, yes, they had multiple wives back in the Old Testament. When you take a second wife, you cannot diminish what you have been giving to your first wife. Treat everyone equally. A slave leaves, furnish him liberally. You get a second wife, still take care of the first one. You got two sons. Oh, the second son, too bad. You're the youngest. You go fend for yourself. What? Are you sick? I don't think so. You're right, right? Everything that belonged to Elimelech would have belonged to Malin and Chilion. Now, the birthright, all the stuff goes to them. Now, everything that belongs to Malin and Chilion should have went to this Redeemer. But instead, it went to Boaz. I've also acquired Ruth the Moabitess. Now, I'm not sure what I saw that made me go talk about all that stuff. I was trying to prove that the right-hand guy for the right hand, that the birthright, the older son, right? Trying to prove all that. I don't recall what I was looking at, but hey, you learned some stuff there, right? Yeah. So she needs a son to pass her stuff on to. She doesn't have one. They both died, but she has this property and such. She's living on, right? Now Boaz has it. Boaz bought it from Elimelech, Chilion, and Melon because the father passes it down to the son. Maybe that's what I was thinking, right? Father passes it down to the son. In the New Testament, we're told that that Jesus is the firstborn. So he gets everything. God gave Jesus everything. And we are now brothers with Christ, meaning we're heirs, co-heirs with Christ. Wait a minute. So the Father gives Jesus everything. He's the firstborn. We're sons of God. We are brothers of Christ. We get everything too. That prodigal son story we read, right? Yeah. The New Testament is taking ideas from the Old Testament about the father passing on stuff to their son. You give it to Jesus, Jesus passes it on to us. The father gives one son something, he gives all the sons something. Also, the redemption, right? Redeem. God redeemed us, just like Ruth was redeemed by Boaz. Pretty cool, huh? How long have I been going here? Let's see. Hour and 7 minutes, it says. I think I'll go ahead and call it good there. Here, let's read a little more. Oops. Chapter 1. Oh, wait, I accidentally started that. Okay, there we go. She and her daughter-in-law set out from the territory of Moab because she heard in Moab, while they were at Moab, she heard that the Lord had paid attention to his people's need by providing them food. His people's need. Who is God's people? Israel. Because look down here. Each of you go back to your mother's home. Okay, God provided my people's need. Now y'all go back to your mother's home. And if you go down a little lower, they said to her, we insist on returning with you to, so both daughters, we insist on returning with you to your people. We don't want to go back to Moab, our people. We want to go back to Judah, your people. What is it? His people. That should be a capital H, right? God's people. The Lord paid it to his people. We want to return. The daughters said to Naomi, we insist on returning with you to his people, to your people. Naomi said, return home. Why do you want to go with me? Am I able to give you sons? She's lost a husband and 2 sons. She's not thinking of much else. She's going, I can't give you sons. Why would you go with me? That's all that's on their mind right now. Let's see. Again, they wept loudly, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. So Orpah leaves. Naomi said, look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. The Lord paid attention to his people. So there's his people and his gods, her people and her gods. Right? Ruth is insisting to her daughter-in-law. Naomi is insisting to her daughter-in-law, leave me and go to another people with another God. Ruth is saying, no, I'm going to stay with you, and your God will be my God. Are we supposed to look askew at Naomi? Maybe. Are we supposed to look at Ruth? Hey, you're doing the best thing ever. Maybe. Or either one of them, is Naomi saying, hey, go commit atheism, and Ruth is saying, no, I'm a committed follower of Jesus. You know, I mean, that's not really happening. You know, the Jews should have been a light to the nation, and Naomi should have been like, hey, Ruth, come with me and be with my father. But she was thinking of worldly stuff. What's a worldly stuff? A family is worldly. She was looking at it that way, it seems. I have no family. I have no way to pass my name on. Over here, super happy. Boaz took Ruth. She became his wife. He slept with her, and the Lord granted conception to her. She gave birth to a son. Then the women said to Naomi, "Bless the Lord who has not left you without a family redeemer today. May his name become great." All right, where is it at? Naomi took the child, placed him on her lap, and became a mother to him. And the neighbor women said, "A son has been born to Naomi." I wonder if Naomi's looking at it the same still. I don't know. But we know what Ruth did. Ruth said, "I am going to go with you, even though I'm leaving my family and my God. I'm going to go with you." Even if all of this was Ruth just saying, "No, let's imagine Ruth is like, "I'm self-righteous. I'll stay with you." Naomi's like, "No, I just want a son." And then she's like, "Yay, I got a son. I could care about anything less. I don't care that you came with me to Israel. I don't care about anything. I have a son. I'm being selfish. Ruth is being selfish. Everybody's being selfish. Let's pretend like that's what's happening. Let's pretend like that's what's going on." God uses all of that to get King David. I imagine more that it's a mixture, that Naomi and Ruth both had ups and downs. Naomi was a little bitter. She wanted a family for her own pleasure, for her own happiness. But maybe she was trying to look after Ruth, it seemed. She said, "Hey, I need to provide for you." Was she doing that out of tradition or because of God? Well, she did learn it from God. God tells people, "Hey, teach your kids this." Naomi had a mother. Naomi was taught, "Here's what you're supposed to do for God." Naomi grows up, "Hey, this is what I'm supposed to do." Maybe. Is Ruth just trying to be good? She's just trying to be moral instead of like actually praise God through her morality. I assume it's a little both. Maybe not. I mean, we're people, we're humans, right? So yeah, God uses our up and down life, and we can look back at our life and go, "This was good, this was bad." I don't know. We can wear, or we can see where God has and is taking it. I'm constantly sad about how life is going, about how bad I do and other people around me do, while all the while knowing what God wants to happen will happen because he's just that awesome. He can use anything and make it good. And two, God is my rock and I'm firmly planted on him. Naomi and Ruth, I mean, they they're firmly planted on God. Maybe they don't even know it, but they are. I look at them and whew, and in the times that I don't realize I'm firmly planted on God, that I'm just out there doing my own thing, I'm selfish, I kind of forget about God for a little while. I'm firmly planted on God. Oh man, sorry. Uh, And I can look back over my life and go, "That was nuts. That part was nuts. That part was nuts. That part was nuts." I can look back and go, "Oh, I can see how God kind of used this. Oh, I can see how God kind of used that. Oh, I can see how God kind of used this." The overall big picture, God wins. Yes. Praise him. All right, guys, stop share. That's kind of fun, huh? Next time we'll look at that genealogy. All right. Try not, it might be a lot of point. We're going to look at this and then we'll look at that and then look at that. Wait, what did I forget? I forgot about what I was looking at. That could happen again. Take a drink of my water. Let's do it like we done before. Share screen, Facebook. Oh, wait. Did I take it down? Maybe I did. All right. Evangelical moon bats right there. We'll go. Facebook takes a while to load. I'm gonna go find a um a prayer. Okay. Prayer for the weekend. I need to take that down, so because it's no longer the weekend. Yeah, this is a Facebook group I'm a part of, and I'm an admin because I don't know. It's just a for fun Facebook group. Nothing important. It's just me and some people being silly and having fun. All right, here we go. Let's say us a prayer. Right here. I'm going to hit Control Plus. All right. O God of light, Father of life, giver of wisdom, benefactor of our souls, who gives to the faint-hearted who put their trust in you those things into which angels desire to look. O sovereign Lord, who has brought us up from the depths of the darkness to light, who has given us life from death, who has graciously bestowed upon us freedom from slavery, and who has scattered the darkness of sins within us, do now yourself also enlighten the eyes of our understanding and sanctify us wholly in soul, body, and spirit. Amen. We'll see you guys on the next very basic Bible. Have a good week, guys.